Hey, AP Scholars, we're back with the ever challenging mix string from string 2. This question is an interesting one in that you are given sort of two strings and you're supposed to sort of shuffle them together like this if you want to use a visual uh, kind of thing going on. So basically, your new string is going to just be taking one letter at a time from each of the strings and putting them together. So, for example, what do we do with these ones? Well, the new string contains an A and an X, right? And then it'll get a B and a Y because it's grabbing from from each string. Eventually, a C and a Z will be on the end. So it's sort of taking the first characters from each string, and then the second from each string, and then the third, and so on. That's the plan. Where it gets really tricky is right in this example here. They're not necessarily the same length, right? That seems like a bit of a wrinkle. So it's a wrinkle that I think takes again some sort of just kind of some working it out on paper or just thinking about the question really hard. Paper tends to help the thinking be less hard. So like doing examples on paper of like how does this actually work and how might I go about doing this. It seems like it'll take longer, but actually often speeds the process up. So I'll show you what I ended up doing. So here's my mix string. Again, it's a string builder, so I got my answer string ready to go. And also I did this little max thing. This is kind of a handy thing to know. You could have done this with an if statement, so this isn't special or required in any way, but it turns out that you can do math.max and you can give it two values and it will return the larger of the two values. So basically I want to see what's the length of the larger string. Is it A is longer or B is longer? So for example, with hi there, max len would end up getting the value of 5, the length of B's string. In an example like the first one, they're both 3, so what's the max of 3 and 3? Well, I guess it's 3, so this would just get 3. So whichever one's longer, it ends up getting the longer value. And that's going to be my loop. Basically, I'm going to be looping through, starting at the beginning of whatever string and going to the length of the longer string. That's important because I'm going to keep on going through both strings, and I need to go all the way to the end of the longer string, right? So that makes sense why you might use that. However, what do you do with like the shorter string? Like eventually you'll be out of bounds on that one. So take a look. I'll show you. So yeah, I got this like string variable I call piece of A and piece of B. It's just like gonna get to be the substring. And let's see what I do there. Yeah, so here I got an if statement. So basically I'm checking to see if it's okay to grab a piece of A. So I'm just grabbing one character at a time. And then I am trying to say, hey, if we're still in bounds in string A, then grab a piece of A. Grab a piece that is one length long. And I can also say the same thing about B. Hey, am I still in bounds in B? If I am, I'll grab a piece of B. I'll just use the substring 1 or I plus 1. And then I add both of those together onto the string. Then I come back for another pass. And notice that because these are in here, they don't have to necessarily be declared in here, but you do have to kind of reset these things each time through the loop. They don't automatically reset. So, by declaring them, yeah, for sure, they'll reset to nothing, so you could do it again and again. So that's sort of the plan there. And so I just kind of go through. Pardon me. Ooh, ooh, yawn. I'm just gonna go through each string, and as long as I still can, and grab each letter. And that way, eventually, once one of them runs out, like this, say A runs out first, it just won't do that anymore because A won't be or I won't be in bounds, but it will continue to do the substring from B. And then at the end, just return the answer, and that's the story. So I hope that made sense, but don't hesitate to ask more questions because, yeah, mixed string's a tough one. I really like mixed string actually. I really think it's a cool question. I've based test questions on it before because it's so It's got that real interesting sort of problem-solving thing that can be tricky, but if you know how it works, then that's great. Okay, thanks so much. I hope you had a good time with that question. You probably didn't. If you're watching this video, you probably had a terrible time with it, but hopefully now you understand it, and if not, ask lots of questions. Okay, bye, AP.